Here is David from Cape Cod. Hello, David.
Hello, how you doing, guys? 2 points, and then I'll hang see if you think I'm crazy.
Okay.
Number one, look at the entire history of the NFL. If you had a choice to be a fan of one team, it would be the New England Patriots. 20 years, no one else has ever done that.
Mm-hmm.
Of the 10 Super Bowls in the history of the NFL, 3 of them are Patriots. The first one, Seattle and Atlanta. Unbelievable. That's number one. Number two, it's over, okay? Brady should have left. God bless him. Because they were never going to win anything if he stayed. If he stays and they pay him all this money, they're worse than they are today.
Oh, get out
that
of here.
was good for
David,
Brady.
they're not.
It was great for the Patriots. Guess what?
David.
It's over, and they have got to move on. And
right.
Bill Belichick.
What's your theory?
Is it crazy? Is it Brady? Is it Belichick? It was both of them, combined with Kraft and everything else.
Okay.
But it's over.
All right.
God in heaven. Can we do – I have an idea for March Madness. I don't know if you did this at AAF, and congratulations, you won a Marconi, and you've had a very good career in radio.
Congrats, Greg.
Actually, the Marconi
Good job, Greg.
belongs to all of you.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you, but you never say that in private.
First thing I moved to the new place.
On the mantle, I'm sure.
I'm going to build a special...
a glass case, like what they hold the Lombardi in.
By the way, this is called rationalizing. That's what David in the Cape was. He doesn't want to hear about Brady today because it's a good day for Brady, and his team looks like a dumpster fire, so that's why he goes back and does that. But I digress. Most annoying caller, madness. We have one on the hold right now, David in Florida. He would be my number 1 seed.
You don't like David
Michael
in
takes
Florida?
the cake.
Oh, right.
TC.
Yeah. Derek, the Steelers fan?
I like Derek. But
Talk about annoying and miserable people, but can I give a special shout out?
Sure.
Because John Zink is a listener of the show, and he just tweeted at us that he was number 3 in the 12 days of Twitchmas today, but he's not bummed because today he got a clean cancer checkup.
Oh.
So he's a winner anyway.
Oh, excellent.
So I want to give a shout out. Because,
Johnny Z.
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what direction that call was going in, but I do often wonder if when it comes to the fans, New England Patriots fans, if they would appreciate a declaration that there is a rebuild in progress. And I mean, you can't have 20 years of extraordinary success, lose Tom Brady, never mind where the fault lies on that, then get yourself a rookie quarterback, lose the offensive coordinator who's been here for 12, 15 years, whatever that number is, and not expect that there's going to be some regression. So I don't know.
Well, the owner of the team said they should win a playoff game.
Yeah. Do you think that
was,
Robert?
Listen, what else is he going to say? And maybe that was. I mean, I would like to see Robert Kraft just declare it a rebuild. Like why?
Yeah, you can't declare rebuild when you
I don't
made
think
actions are saying
when you
the
made the playoffs last
I
year.
declare rebuilding.
I declare it a rebuild.
When you made the playoff,
Why can't you?
because you made the playoffs last year. Teams that are rebuilding are not playoff teams.
And rebuilding teams don't go and spend like $200 million in free agency.
Rebuilding, it takes time. It's a process. You find your guy, and then you might not be as good. You might not make the playoffs for a couple years, but you're starting to see, okay, you're ascending in the right direction. You can't make the playoffs and then go, oh, they're rebuilding because the next year you switch your offensive coordinator and the same group of guys you brought back are not playing as well.
And you have a more talented roster this year than you did last year.
Right.
You chose to regress on offense because you hired your golf buddies who would never challenge you. And that is a fireable offense. I'm not saying he will get fired or even should get fired. But the position they find themselves in is not due to bad luck with injuries. It's not due to a bad call by a referee. It's not due to any of these things that can occur. It is due to the obstinance of the head coach and general manager and his desire to not be threatened in any way with his coaching staff.
Your expectation was for any NFL team that is going to lose the greatest quarterback of all time, and Curtis, don't put your head down. I mean,
they won 10 games last year. We're basing off that. We're not going back 3 years. I'm saying last year they looked like it was a renaissance. The team was really behind Mac Jones after a year of watching Cam Newton. It felt like the offense was cohesive again. And I understand, growing pains. The Bills lost Dayball, one of the best offensive minds in football, replaced him with Ken Dorsey, and they're 9-3. I mean, you can make a change. The Dolphins lost their head coach. They added Mike McDaniel, brought in weapons around Tua. They're a revelation. It's not that hard anymore. You have to spend and invest, and you have to go outside of your tree. And Bill has chosen not to do that. If he brought in a coordinator that was competent and didn't lose the progress of Mac, this is a playoff team. The AFC's top is very, very great, but the middle of the AFC is mediocre.
Right.
This is Matt from Rhode Island. What's up, Matt?
Good morning, guys. Thanks
Hey.
for having me on the show. How is everyone?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm great. I agree with you, Greg. We're in a rebuild, man, and I'm going to say, as a fan, they won their first Super Bowl when I was 7 years old. This is just passing the torch. My dad had to go through this, then we won. His dad had to watch the Patriots be horrible, and then they won. It's just, it's time to move on. It's time to move on from the season. Just call it what it is. It's over.
Yeah,
Let's
so
move on.
basically
Let's put it
you're
out
saying for you, your Raiders game week 15 being flexed is like your dad not being able to actually watch the Patriots on local television because it wasn't a sellout. You're saying that's the same kind of thing.
Kind of pass another torch, exactly.
I mean,
So rebuild means you have to figure out what direction you're going in, completely revamp your roster. Do you feel comfortable in your rebuild that Mac Jones is the guy?
No.
Okay, so then that means you have
well,
to.
what kind of condition do you think Mac Jones is going to be like at the end of this season? I don't mean physically.
He wants
Mentally?
this over right now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the morning he wakes up after this season is over will be the easiest morning that he's had in quite a bit of time.
Do you think he wants to be here?
No.
After, huh?
He's going to need a lot
You
of
don't-
off-season breathing techniques. No, I don't think he wants to be here.
I wouldn't want to be here either.
Really?
No, if I'm Mac Jones and we could say all we want that being an NFL player you need to be mentally tough. If you go out there after you come back from an injury and after having a few series where things aren't going your way, to get booed and treated that way by the fan base. I said it before, and I was a Zappy fan. He is not going to forget about that.
Yeah, but I can care less about the fans. I played for Bill.
But you are much different mentally than Mac Jones.
No, forget the fans. I'm talking about you have to be a certain type of dude to play for Bill Belichick, mentally.
And you don't think he's that kind of guy?
And I don't think he is that kind of guy. And that's not like his fault. It's just, he's just probably – now, he probably dealt with similarities with Nick Saban. And I don't know – he's probably able to deal with Nick Saban and some of the stuff that Nick Saban was doing because he had a ton of talent around him. They won. Maybe when you're winning, you might be able to deal with some of the things Bill's doing. But Bill is a different type of coach, and you have to be mentally a different type of player to want to deal with that stuff. Remember when we asked Tyler about coaching hard, and he laughed?
Well, yeah. Listen, I think last season, it was, for him, it was a great rookie season. But then... So you look at the way his year has progressed. He comes back and it's Matt Patricia, and he's whatever the issue was, whether he and Kendrick Bourne, whoever it was, they were unhappy with that direction. Then you essentially have the argument over the surgery.
Yep.
And then you have Bill refusing to name him as the starter when he returns.
Right.
Code red.
I bet you if you ask Bill right now who's your starting quarterback, he'll still be like,
Why are you trying to get me into a corner?
So you legitimately think that Mac Jones wants out?
I don't think Mac wants, and I can understand
You think
it.
he doesn't want to be here?
Yeah, and I can understand it. It's very difficult to deal with Bill as a coach.
And I think Mac felt like he could handle Bill as a coach because he had his situation with Saban, and they're very similar. But Saban always put him in the right light to succeed. Bill has failed him this season on that.
And I think the difference is, and even with Saban and for Mac Jones, it's not really about Saban or Bill the head coach, right? It's hard to deal with that. It's the buffer that you have between you and Bill or you and Saban. And for him, I think it was Steve Sarkisian who was his offensive coordinator. And for Mac here, it was Josh McDaniels. So even though Bill might have been the type of coach he is, you had that buffer in an offensive coordinator where you can at least sit there and have a conversation. And Josh might go, listen, I don't agree with what Bill wants us to do here, but he wants to do it because of this, that. Where now the buffer is Bill's right-hand man.
So after this season is over, who do you think is more mind-effed? Mac Jones or Zach Wilson?
Oh, Zach Wilson.
I don't
Mac
think
Jones.
so.
It's
I
Mac
think
Jones, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
By the way,
Really?
we have a poll up, which I find fascinating, at the Greg Hill Show on Twitter. Which decision was dumber? Letting Brady walk, or hiring Patricia as offensive coordinator? 200 votes in, just put this up. 57% say hiring Patricia.
Really?
Yes. That's how blatant, because you can make an argument for the other one. As I said, I didn't agree with it, but I understand that Robert Kraft has several businesses. He's a billionaire for a reason, and you thought that Bill would give you more good years than Brady. I don't think that's illogical. I disagree, but Patricia, there's not another side to it. Every person that wasn't bought and sold for by the organization thought it was going to be a dumpster fire because they used logic, and it's been a dumpster fire.
And the question is,
So, but coming out of this season,
yeah,
you think that Mac is in a worse state mentally than Zach Wilson is
Yes.
after
Yeah.
being sat?
Yeah, because I think the coaches are completely different, and what maybe Mac's going through and what Zach is going through is completely different. Like Zach is like, all right, I've had, a couple bad years and it's just, I'm not able to figure it out, but I'll figure it out. Mac is coming off a year where you go, all right, he was a Pro Bowler, he made the playoffs, and thinking like, yo, they're treating me like this. Zach Wilson was like, ooh, I was bad my rookie year. I'm struggling this year, so I got to figure this out.
Okay. Oh, follow-up question. Who do you think is coming off this season more mind-effed? Sophie or Zach Wilson's mom's friend?
I definitely say Sophie.
Well, Courtney can't speak to Sophie.
No, I can't speak on this topic. I actually think it's the opposite, though, when it comes, because I agree
Didn't
with
you
you.
run into Sophie recently?
Yes.
Ooh.
We didn't.
Was there a buffer?
Yes.
Did you say hello?
I did not.
Did you guys have like a staring contest, like
Stand
me
tall,
mugging each
Courtney.
other?
No, every time she was around, my eyes went to the ground.
Oh no, you didn't.
stand strong.
You got shook. You was a shook
Santo
one.
was like, "You didn't go up and say
Oh,
like,
man.
hey,
Where
what's
you
up?"
two?
We were at a spa that we both go to, and they actually posted a video the next morning of like, "Oh, fun night last night," and she and I are both in the video. I'm like, she probably doesn't even know who I am.
You should have went up to her and you should have been like, "Hey, Sophie, I'm Courtney." Blah blah blah.
No, you should have gone up to her and said, "Hey, what's zapping?"
Shine.
Passively aggressive.
You gotta-
aggressively asked why
You
you
gotta
got blocked.
play
You
some.
should have been like, any zappy endings around this spa?
Don't worry, be zappy.
You got to play some Mob Deep shook ones for Courtney. You can't put your head
No,
down.
because I
scared
know
to
if
look.
I had gone up and said something, then it would be like, "Oh, this girl thinks she's all that," and who is she coming up to me asking why I blocked her? She's old. She's 31.
Well, how old
You
Sophie?
should have said, "I thought someone would have intercepted
24,
me."
23.
Just said, "Excuse me, miss, you're blocking the door like you block critics on Instagram.
And I
Courtney,
don't
you're more
criticize
popular
her.
there.
You're blocking the fire
you,
exit
Shine.
like you block people on Instagram."
Oh, don't cry like your boyfriend. Jeez.
You should have acted like you owned the room.
I did. Just when she walked by, I didn't want to.
You should have asked if she had any special breathing exercises too.
No.